Hey there folks, it's me TheTacticalBrit, your home of in-depth breakdowns, guides, and everything in between. Now today we're discussing something pretty cool, and that is the introduction of the Pacific Theater to Battlefield 5, specifically some unearthed content that looks, well, fantastic to say the least. This video today is brought to you by Aorus Gaming. These are my go-to guys for everything in tech. They run all of the hardware out of my PC, and honestly, I wouldn't recommend anything else, so please check them out in the description below, including their brand new range of tactical gaming laptops and brand new monitors. So some new information has been data mined out of Battlefield 5, and yes, I know what you're going to say. Data mining is never the go-to for 100% correct information, and that is of course true, but in this video today I'm going to be explaining why the data mining that's been done surrounding the Pacific Theater is most likely going to be accurate, and a huge shout out to Temporal Royale. Now, for those of you guys who know, I'm not really a huge fan of data mining. I really hope that this stuff is just announced by Battlefield and DICE themselves, but in the interim, and whilst it does exist, he has put in the effort in behind this, so the credit is in the description below if you want to check out his original Reddit post. So here are the big ones, the big brand new maps, and that is Wake Island, Iwo Jima, Tropic Islands, and Jungle. Now these are 4 maps that are coming to Chapter 5 before the end of 2019, which I think is actually a really cool addition. I think 4 is a very healthy number. It's a number that I think will restore faith in the community, and I think people will say, hey, those are 4 maps that sound cool, or at least worth playing. I mean, Wake Island alone is countless hours of replayability for veterans of the franchise, and is arguably, in my opinion, one of the best maps ever made in Battlefield, so I'm really glad to see that return. Iwo Jima sounds fantastic. I'm sure lots of people are going to be excited to get their hands on the Iwo Jima setting. And Jungle and Tropic Islands, these are just code names as it presently stands. The idea, I guess, is that there's going to be a dense jungle map and there's going to be a tropical island map. Something similar-ish to Wake Island, but perhaps with a bit more sand, a bit more beach. You know, the kind of stuff we saw in the Mercury map where there was a huge visual overhaul. I think that's really what they're aiming for with each 4 of these maps here. You know, Wake Island is a very standout classical piece. Iwo Jima, a jungle, and a Tropic Island map are offering very distinct visual identities for those individual maps and a lot of character, which we have seen in a lot of the maps that have released. I think Marita and Mercury be key examples of a new color palette, a shift away, and trying to create something new. Now, you'd be right to say, well, slow your horses, TacticalBrit. You know, these are just data mines. For all we know, this is just something that they're you know, playing with, or it's just some ideas, or maybe these are some things that have been pitched, or they're just code names, you know, they're not that important. But I think so far, in terms of the track record of data mining, things have been very accurate, you know. In terms of the weapons that have been put into the game, yes, some of them haven't been released, but they explained why they didn't release them. But it appears as though a lot of the information that was mined from the 5v5 mode was incredibly accurate, and a lot of it was scrapped, and a lot of it was changed. Most of the stuff prior to that has been pretty accurate too, in terms of naming new things that are coming to the game and when they're coming, and even showing visually some of the physical showcases of what's coming. So I do very much have in good faith that those 4 maps are going to come to the game. If you just think about it from a sense of Battlefield, let's say, you know, the game hasn't been doing great, you know, things haven't been going well. You want to wow people for this DLC, right? 4 maps, I think, is a wow factor number. I think, you know, for a free content drop, 4 brand new maps sounds fantastic. Wake Island is going to create a huge amount of buzz. You're going to have lots of veterans getting extremely excited about playing in Wake Island again. Iwo Jima is just an iconic location from World War II, and I'm sure they'll do something similar with the other 2 maps that they have as well. And ultimately, I really feel as though if you're trying to make people excited for a DLC, well, Iwo Jima and Wake Island just makes sense. And Iwo Jima was already announced at EA Play in June 2019, so again, really not a lot of questions around whether or not these maps are coming for me. I think they make a lot of sense, and I think they're going to be an exciting addition to the game. But let's move on, because there's actually a lot more information to dig your teeth into. With the introduction of the Pacific, we of course have 2 brand new factions in the Japanese and the United States, and that means that we need, well, lots of stuff. We need US weapons, we need Japanese weapons, we need Japanese and US cosmetics, we need an entire visual and physical set of things to make this work, and kicking that off nice and early is the Type 97 MG, which is a heavy machine gun for the Japanese infantry forces, and that looks really cool. You know, Type 97 is something I think a lot of people are used to in traditional Battlefield games. Another experimental one is the M3 IR sniper rifle, which has an infrared sight on it, which was something that was tested in World War II, so it's interesting to see that will be coming into the game, as well as a suppressor. So this is basically the go-to snipey weapon, and if that jungle map ends up being a nighttime jungle map, then I'm sure there is going to be lots of uses for that. We have the Nambu Type 2A SMG, which is again another submachine gun. It's pre-World War II of Japanese origin. We have the Bar machine gun, an American machine gun, which lots of people wanted to see, and of course was more or less confirmed at EA Play and was mentioned in 4.4 as well. We also have the Type 94 sidearm. Now there are some weapons that have already been added to the game prior to this patch, in terms of like things that have already been data mined, and that is the M1 Garand. I think a lot of people are expecting that to come with the assault class with the United States, and that looks like it's happening. We also have the Type 99 Ariska bolt action rifle. We also have the Katana, the burned plank melee weapon, as well as the M3 grease gun, the M19196 MMG, and the Type 100, which were already found in the files before. There's also some hints towards US soldier sets as well as Japanese oversets. There also appears to be some epic weapon sets as well, in terms of just some customized one. There's one called Fossilized, there's Jungle, Dragon, and a few others as well. But it really sounds great. I do feel as though there is a lot of content coming in this. I would expect to see around, I don't know, 5 to 10 weapons, 4 maps. You're going to have visual customization. We're definitely going to see a lot of vehicles as well. There's no way that you introduce something like Wake Island without having boats or amphibious vehicles. Likewise, similarly, you know, there's no way that you have these brand new environments and use traditional things. I think we'll see something like the Sherman tank. I imagine that will come in. It's likewise that we're going to see some Japanese and US aircraft, as well as some Japanese tanks as well. Now these are just things that make sense. Again, this is something that I really do feel as though I feel like it has a chance, you know, a chance to, you know, really give Battlefield a good kind of almost relaunch, not like a you know, a brand new game, but like a soft relaunch of Battlefield 5, saying, hey, you know, after a few updates, the game's in a really good way. Here is 4 new, brand new US-Japanese World War II maps, including Iwo Jima and Wake Island. Here's a free weekend. How about you all come try Battlefield and we'll sell the game at a discounted rate? And I really do feel as though they could inject some life back into this game. And of course, this is releasing before the end of 2019. Now, of course, again, all of this is data mined content, which means there is a very good chance that some of it will be subject to change or may not make it into the game. But just based on the accuracy of data mines so far and just how well Temple Royale has predicted things that are coming to the game, as well as explained what's happening with them, I really don't have any reason to believe that they won't be in the game. I don't personally believe that, you know, this stuff is just added to the game files because somebody kind of wanted to play with something. I think it's more, they are very much preparing for these 4 brand new maps and all the things that are coming with them. So ultimately, yeah, I really do think this is an exciting content update. I think a lot is coming to the game that's going to excite fans. Let me know what you think of this new content for the Pacific Theater, which is coming before the end of 2019. Is this something you're excited about, and what is your standout feature? As always, folks, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video.